and the Diablesse Chronicles. It continues today. It might have LAGAHOO, DOUEN, Mighty CORBEAUX, and the LABASSE liquors who might come out to play. The LABASSE liquors is a new one for me, but that is what Victor, aka Hellboy, make he live and say. I ain't giving nobody no nickname, but you could put two and two together and guess who is who. So join me today at 5:30. Diablesse Chronicles. It continues today. It might have LAGAHOO, DOUEN, Mighty CORBEAUX, and the LABASSE liquors who might come out to play. The LABASSE liquors is a new one for me, but that is what Victor, aka Hellboy, make he live and say. I ain't giving nobody no nickname, but you could put two and two together and guess who is who. So join me today at 5:30 when you come aboard. Remember to share Gen Live. Diablesse Chronicles. It continues today. It might have LAGAHOO, DOUEN, Mighty CORBEAUX, and the LABASSE liquors who might come out to play. The LABASSE liquors is a new one for me, but that is what Victor, aka Hellboy, make he live and say. I ain't giving nobody no nickname, but you could put two and two together and guess who is who. So join me today at 5:30 when you come aboard. Remember to share Gen Live. Diablesse Chronicles. It continues today. It might have LAGAHOO, DOUEN, Mighty CORBEAUX, and the LABASSE liquors who might come out to play. The LABASSE liquors is a new one for me, but that is what Victor, aka Hellboy, make he live and say. I ain't giving nobody no nickname, but you could put two and two together and guess who is who. So join me today at 5:30 when you come aboard. Remember to share Gen Live. Diablesse Chronicles. It continues today. It might have LAGAHOO, DOUEN, Mighty CORBEAUX, and the LABASSE liquors who might come out to play. The LABASSE liquors is a new one for me, but that is what Victor, aka Hellboy, make he live and say. I ain't giving nobody no nickname, but you could put two and two together and guess who is who. So join me today at 5:30 when you come aboard. Remember to share Gen Live. Diablesse Chronicles. It continues today. It might have LAGAHOO, DOUEN, Mighty CORBEAUX, and the LABASSE liquors who might come out to play. The LABASSE liquors is a new one for me, but that is what Victor, aka Hellboy, make he live and say. I ain't giving nobody no nickname, but you could put two and two together and guess who is who. So join me today at 5:30 when you come aboard. Remember to share Gen Live.
Let we talk the Ting.
It have a character that is called Lady Diablesse. She does have on a long, pretty dress. She foot on them thin, but one of them have a surprise because she only lift it up. And
glory of my country. Hi, June. Hi, Carol. Hi, Erica. I shall bounce up. Welcome just now. Bounce up Central. I'm a fan with my little fan. I have to get a big fan. Because when I start to laugh, I have to block my mouth and laugh. So we go get to that. So, you know, we always have some good news. I'm seeing here that there's a new protector of the wetlands. I think it's called woodlands, is it? Yeah, they have a new president. Look at my minute, these things I have to search all over and scroll. So let's see what this is about. So it says here that this was in CNC3. News, and it's opening. Hi, Yvette. No one's them started to take long to open. I gone. And if it ain't opening, I will just read headline. Just read headline. Okay. Like it says, not today. So Guardian, 18 hours ago, new woodlands. So newly elected president of the Woodland Flood Action Group, Kevin, for a flood-resistant woodland during his address at the community Diwali celebration on Monday night. Past President Adish Singh was voted out when elections were held 2 weeks ago. Expressing gratitude for the community's trust in him, Hadwar underscored the importance of unity and resilience in tackling the ongoing flood issues. I humbly accept this position, fully recognizing that the weight of leadership is not solely mine to bear. It is shared with each one of you who have fired up this mission, who stood in the face of challenges, and who worked relentlessly for our cause. Hadwar acknowledged the founding members of the Woodland Flood Action Group, crediting them with setting the groundwork for ongoing efforts to make the area safer. He highlighted the night's festivities as a representation as we gather to celebrate the night of joy and togetherness. There is no better reminder of our mission than the spirit of Diwali, the festival of lights, conquering darkness, Hadwar. As we illuminate the path to a safer, flood-resistant woodland, he added. Hadwar also called for renewed community commitment, saying, our purpose transcends individual aspirations. It calls for unification. Darkness is but an absence of light, and it is our duty to shine brighter together, drawing on collective skills and wisdom. So that is the president there of Woodland Community. So the function was also attended by South Riverine Flood Action Group President Edward Moody and Superior Regional Corporation CEO Ann Hossain. PDRC, I don't know if, I'm not sure what that stands for, and Trinidad and Tobago Red Cross, whose recent collaboration with Woodlands residents have been aimed at strengthening disaster preparedness. So good luck there to you, Mr. Kevin Hadwar, and your community. President of Howard University. He's a philanthropist, and he has given back to his homeland, Trinidad and Tobago. So what did he give back? And he said he has no interest in getting into politics. So this was, and I'm a family, I'm a whole family, all them. 18 hours ago in The Guardian, Frederick gives 1 million to MOE, says he has no interest in politics. Despite his growing interest in contributing to his homeland, former Howard University president and philanthropist Dr. Wayne Frederick said yesterday that he is simply too honest to engage in politics. Frederick, who was awarded Trinidad and Tobago's highest honor, the Order of the Republic, in 2020, made a comment as he addressed questions about potential political ambitions locally and abroad. Simone donated 1 million in their children's name to help address deficiencies in the education system. He has also been traveling to Trinidad and Tobago frequently since retiring from Howard University, having pledged to visit one school each month to inspire young people to pursue their dreams despite their challenges they may face. Frederick expressed his desire to improve the country. I think people are always going to infer things from your interests. My goal is just to make this place a better place. Whatever mechanism is best to do that, that's my goal. Right now, it does not involve politics. It involves not just my philanthropy in terms of my resources, but it involves the most important resources, which is my time. I won't make a good politician because I am probably going to be too honest with my answers, and that is not going to be a very popular thing, he said. As a sickle cell warrior, Frederick praised the public education and healthcare system in Trinidad and Tobago, describing the donation as merely a down payment on his gratitude. I will never be able to repay this country and its public healthcare system education system for the opportunities I have had, Frederick said. That public healthcare system took care of me. I still have not met another board certified surgeon who had sickle cells anywhere in the world. Not to say that I'm the only person, but again, it says that the type of preparation that I had. It says about the type of preparation I had. Recalling his educational journey, Frederick highlighted his experience at the Martin Government Secondary School, where he received an excellent education, followed by an incredible experience at St. Mary's College that prepared him to globally compete. He skipped Form 3 and completed his O levels at age 14 and A levels at 16. At Howard University, he participated in an accelerated program, earning both undergraduate and medical degrees by age 22. None of that makes me exceptional. What is exceptional is the fact that I was prepared by a country with a public system that allowed me to overcome challenges and obstacles that I otherwise would not have had, he said. His donation was the ministry's first cash contribution to its Adopt a School initiative launched in 2020. Frederick was set to deliver the keynote address at the stock exchange last evening, where he planned to urge corporate Trinidad and Tobago to match his $1 million gift. He indicated that this would not be the end of their collaboration with the Ministry of Education. He and his wife are also looking to address concerns at schools for the blind. In response, Education Minister Dr. Nayan Gaspidoli praised Frederick for his generous contribution. She explained that the 1 million will be allocated for infrastructural improvements and that the donor will choose from a list of schools in need. I would also like Dr. Frederick also to look at the special schools. Sometimes these schools are put on the back burner, and you more hear about the schools where, quote unquote, the normal population of children are. But there are schools like St. Princess Elizabeth, Lady Hochoy, and its different other branches in Arima, Mamasa, and other areas, and also the School for the Deaf and Warden Patrick. Those are schools sometimes that they go on, how to put it, because they fight and do what they have to do. Sometimes they go under the radar and not being talked about much. So I would like there to also be emphasis on the special schools in this country, also with children who have different types of challenges and abilities or disabilities. So that is some really good news there coming out from Dr. Frederick, who again is my family. He from Laventille, and I have the Fredericks, and them from Laventille is my family. All Frederick is family. Mm-hmm. Let me continue. I'm saying, remember the last time we saw persons lining up in droves to pay their property tax in Chonapuna. And the conversation was, why can't they not have a system to pay online? And the government, the Minister of Finance, would have promised that that would happen. And so this is October the 30th, Daily Express, but online property tax payments start today. So, okay, let me just play it so you all can hear before you do have any reading.
From today, you will be able to pay your property tax online. Finance Minister Colin Burke has announced. Burke said that state-owned First Citizens will today introduce its online payment option, with other commercial banks set to follow suit soon. And according to Burke, in the near future, you will be able to pay all of your taxes online. Burke made the comments a short while ago while delivering the feature address at the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange's Capital Market Conference 2024 being held at the Hyatt Regency, Port of Spain. During his budget presentation, Burke announced that by October 31st, online payment options for property tax would be available. I am pleased to report that First Citizens Bank will go live today to provide an electronic banking facility to allow property owners to pay their property tax online the same way they pay their utility bills, Burke said. Burke said this was all part of the government's thrust to provide digital options for all financial transactions.
All right. So First Citizen Bank and other banks, you will be able to pay your property tax online, so you don't have to go and line up in long lines and wait, especially those elderly, senior citizens, those who may have abilities, disabilities, or different challenges. So that is some good news there. They did make good on their promise of putting this system online. I'm also seeing one of our cricketers who ran getting a $2 million. Let me see what you're getting it for now. You know, that's one of the big batsmen, you know. He bigger than dance, you know. When Puran out there watch me, his worries and trouble, you know, he and Pollard. Hey. So I'm seeing yesterday in the Guardian, hi Michael, Puran to be retained by super giants for over US $2 million. So Kolkata, West Indies superstar batsman Nicholas Pooran has reportedly been re-signed by Lucknow Super Giants as their first choice retention for the upcoming 2025 Indian Premier League IPL season. And you know, in that IPL, and Ting ain't going to see no floodlight code for so much longer time and nobody. Okay. According to reports, the 29-year-old wicketkeeper batsman was recently in the whole thing just jump and gone, was recently in the RPSG group office in Kolkata, where he reportedly signed with Lucknow for INR 18 crores, which equates to just over US $2 million. In the 2023 auction, LSG brought Pooran for INR 16 crores following his stint with Sunrisers Hyderabad. Pooran is committed to LSG, possesses a winning mindset, thinks deep, and above all, he is adaptable to the batting order and any match situation, said an LSG official. Pooran had a superb 2024 IPL season, scoring 499 runs, inclusive of 35 boundaries and 36 maximums. In the recent concluded Caribbean Premier League, the left-handed Trinidadian broke the record for the most T20 runs set in a calendar year. According to the report, LSG will go into the auction with INR 69 crores after spending INR 51 crores on their 5 retention. After Pooran, the likes of Ravi Bishnoi, Heyank Yavad, Ashur Baduni, and Musin Khan will be the other 4 players in the franchise that the franchise will keep hold of. This word Lucknow, you see the link with that in India. We have, I think, Lucknow Street or something in St. James, if I'm not mistaken. And you see the name, one of the cricket team in India. It's called Lucknow Supergiants. A little piece of history again. People are going to play you something because today, I ain't tell all you, my show is the Diablesse Chronicles, of course, today. We talking LAGAHOO, DOUEN, LAGAHOO liquors, and mighty CORBEAUX. Now, I'm not calling nobody no name. But when I talk, you can put 2 and 2 together. And all you can make a decision who all in naming. So me ain't naming nobody. I tell you, the 4 categories again, mighty CORBEAUX, Diablesse, BASSE liquors, and DOUENs, LAGAHOO. Right? So let the conversation continue. So I was usually calling on a morning program and give me a little contribution because I like them thing. So I called into a radio program this morning and I would have spoken about the NUGFW elections. Apparently somebody took offense to what I said. So I'm going to play what I say, and again, you all will be the judge. Or there's the judge out here, and I just telling the story. And I the sexy Diablesse who come to entice, but I come with the truth, I come with the facts, I have my receipt, all of them in black and white. So listen to me.
This is like the field of election. So this might be the 16th or 17th. Some around there, but I know the most plenty, and the election I'm talking about is the NUGFW election. The most high. But the reason why I said the most is because I feel like Modena had endorsed Lambert. So Lambert is 80 years old over here. And in the endorsement that Dr. Modena did with the deputy political leader of the UNC is that Lambert is so good and he could say next 10 years. So then we also see Lambert still to be 93 years old as the president general at NUGFW. Well, he got a song within I understand yesterday he had the whole team. There's no new executive installed. In the, well, I don't officially as yet, but there's a new executive in NUGFW. So hence me saying you will see yours another election again. And it clearly shows that people reject the UNC at any level, whether they insinuate themselves into Labour, whether they insinuate themselves into anything. The people are rejecting them and understand too. It is alleged that Lambert tried moving out Thursday before. So me know we had inside the down here. It had bedroom, it had bath, all kinds of things that have inside the union. Area there were supposed to be a place where workers going to get help to live excuse. I hope they will turn the alleged bedrooms. I hope that the new executive will turn those bedrooms, especially bedrooms, into office spaces where workers, the elected officers could go and get the proper representation they want. I also hope that the executive is able to clear the situation with the pension and get it over and done it so the elected officers could get a pension at 60 years old. And they don't have to wait until they're 65 years old to get no old age grant, like they did never work in this society and contributed. Because they are the people who do all the working with the laborers, carpenters, all they are the tradesmen in this country, and it wasn't for them supporting the public service. We have real problems in terms of getting those things in ministries fixed and those things in government business. They are the ones who do that type of work and they deserve to retire at 60 and not only get NIS but also get a pension. Right, so I hope that this new team inside will be able to work this out as soon as possible because as it is right now, the related workers are men, women, are retired from the service at 60 years old. Just getting on the NIS and not to still is 65 to get a old age granted. So congratulations to the new team. And again, I lost again to the UNC. And before I leave the rest of it.
So that was me there congratulating the new team. And why I spoke about UNC And this is because of this situation here. Just now, let me get it for you. Because I don't just talk because I feel it to talk. This was the ad.
Good day, this is the voice of Dr. Rudal Munilal, inviting you to come out on Monday the 28th and vote for the very strong team of Comrade James Lambert and the faithfuls in the upcoming elections of the National Union of Government and Federated Workers. Comrade Lambert has been a great beacon of the trade union movement. He has been a pillar of working class solidarity and advancement, and Comrade Lambert and his team will surely take the working class into the next decade and struggle for prosperity, equality, and justice.
Right? That there is Dr. Munilal. Isn't he the deputy political leader of the UNC? So am I so wrong in saying that the UNC lost another election? Not only that, was I wrong in saying that James Lambert lost the election? I'm going to play the individual response to my voice, my conversation I had on radio this morning. Again, only be the judge. Only be the judge. So let me get the individual response.
Bruce often do the other way. Oh, slow, man. After getting to the money trying to take a Bruce. Yes. It's the most nonsense. And the system we have to be careful we talk with remote. Because the key right now is that Bruce out here. You know what I'm telling you, right, Bruce? Yeah. Bruce, I work for the NUGFW election in a big old one compound. And it's the most nonsense I have, which I saw. And I said to them, after recount, let me repeat, I walk in one compound in Tobago. You know what I'm telling you? I got a patient up here, and it's the most nonsense. I have to tell you, one of the presiding officers, why don't you telling people to put X and to put a X? Bruce, you know pretty well, Bruce. Whenever it's a general election of local election, and people see who upset the election and we have the ballot paper. You never been there for the years now, and I do this session about it. It's the most rubbish. I repeated here this morning, the polling agent and the poker, they did not know what the hell they're doing. And they have no less chance to know. You can't tell them, you have to be careful, we come down, black line, me, what they can't go down there 2 minutes, they take the drama thing. Now, we have to know we can't say on the radio. We want to defeat the trouble. Yeah, and the body after 2 and 1.9. Be careful, stop talking rubbish about the gentleman. Move and go, have a good day.
Right. A few minutes later, because I talking rubbish, it's not me who say. That's why I said in my voice note, it is alleged that it have a bedroom of the people would have said that Lambert was living on the compound of NUGFW. So if you're living there, it's not logical that you will have a bedroom there. I saw a picture time with Mr. Lambert in a towel wrapped around his waist that says a meeting he was having. He could have a bar there also. So how am I talking rubbish? Me didn't say them thing. The people in NUGFW just talk them thing. Not only that, I mentioned the fact that James Lambert was voted out. And again, the person seemed to have a problem with that, with what happened here and what happened there, and what didn't happen there and what happened there. Okay, let me get it for you. Again, I just go on what is in black and white because I could read and write. So this was in the Guardian. 19 hours ago, NUGFW gets new president as Lambert voted out. After 16 years at the helm of the National Union of Government and Federated Workers, NUGFW, James Lambert is no longer the Union President General. Lambert was replaced by his first Deputy President General, Christopher Skeet. The union held its national executive elections on Monday. Yesterday, election supervisors Luna Wright announced that Christopher Skeet is now President General along with his new executive. The announcement led to a carnival-like atmosphere at the union's hall at Henry Street, Port of Spain yesterday evening as union members gathered to support their new leadership. President General-elect Skeet said his first priority will be to conduct a forensic audit. Even though I was the first Deputy President General, I did not have any knowledge of the financial state of this organization, none whatsoever. That's why one of the first things we plan to do is initiate a forensic audit of the union's account. This audit will give us a clear sense of where we stand. While we can't predict the outcome, we believe it's a necessary step for moving forward. Canadian media obtained preliminary election results showing incumbent President General James Lambert with 1,981 votes, while President General-elect Christopher Skeet received 2,329. Today, the President General-elect Skeet explained the reason for the delay. If no challenge is raised by 2 p.m. on the day following the elections, the election supervisor would proceed to install the new executive. However, the election supervisor said her team weren't able to complete the final count by that deadline, so the other teams didn't receive the results on time. In conversation with her, we agreed it will be fair to give the other teams opportunities to review the results and, if necessary, raise any objections or challenges. So we agreed to schedule the installation of officers for 10 a.m. tomorrow, Wednesday, he explained, which is today. Tell me, what did I say wrong that could get a radio station into problems? I heard Mr. Skeet, he was interviewed on I-95.5, and basically what he said there in this article is what he said. But I like the things he's saying. He's not sounding like the regular old drum and make noise and get on and back on. I heard him say a couple of things. He said, first of all, forensic audit. With a forensic audit, people just get locked up. That's not an ordinary audit. A forensic audit, criminal charges could be had against people if it is found they are liable to doing anything. That's them affair. I heard him speak today on I-95.5. I got the interview a little later, but I heard him speaking about the 4% issue. And what he's saying, I'm paraphrasing people. So the person who bought to bring radio station, this is my life, this is my life. We talk the thing, me and nobody to bring into no distribute, right? Something to the effect that under Lambert, there was they had to go to either the court or had another meeting with CPO or somebody on the 5th of December. However, they are not keeping that deadline. They are making themselves ready in order to have a conversation with the Minister of Finance. And he was also advised by someone, Prime Minister Dr. Christopher Rowley. In that conversation, he said they're going to bring the issues that the challenges they have and whatever the case may be with this 4% and all that, and they can work to some type of resolution. He even went on to say, there is nothing stated in the Industrial Relations Act that if your matter is before the court, that if you make an arrangement outside of that, that you cannot vacate, tell the court you're no longer interested in carrying through with the case and vacate the situation and do the settlement. He spoke a lot of things that they want to do for the unions, for the members, making the members. He just spoke about, imagine if a member house burned down, why it is the union can help buy some bricks and sand and them for them to build back. And I just love his vibes and how we talking. And I wish, it's a long time since I've called a union leader comrade something. And I'm happy today based on what I heard Christopher Skeet say, to say Comrade Christopher Skeet, the President General, the new President General and President of NUJFW. I like how you speak. I like the way. I like the way how you delivered, and I know it's because of speaking to your members like that why they would have voted for you resoundingly, right? So one done, we had 2 more to go. And the next 2 is Leroy Batiste and Ansel Roche. There's hope. So let me continue. So some news from Tobago. Tobago had a bumper carnival, and I heard figures like 30,000 Trinidadians went across. Well, all 30,000 may not have been for carnival, it may have been for other reasons. However, 30,000. Now, when you look at the crowds here, you know it's not only foreigners were there. You know it's locals was there to make it nice. I heard congratulations also going out to the police officers who would have kept the place relatively safe and free of incidents. I'm hearing, I was not there. I saw the crowds, people had a good time, and they're back home. So I'm seeing also just a little something here. You know the one who called me unwashed and uncircumcised? The what's she name? Secretary of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities, and all kind of damn thing. If she could call we unwashed and uncircumcised, I could call she the same thing too. If you have no respect for we, me have none for you neither. So this was 21 hours ago in Tuesday. More Shore Bay consultation. Boris wants stakeholders comfortable. Secretary of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation, Tasha Boris, said another rounds of public consultation for the proposed Shore Bay redevelopment project should take place in the next 2 weeks. In September, several vendors at the facility called on the Tobago House recreational spot. The appeal came after on August the 30th Facebook, and August the 30th Facebook post on the One Support Philip Alexander page, which claimed the facility was being given to the 1%. The division subsequently denied having any final redevelopment plans. Progressive Democratic Patriots, PDP Watson Duke, also warned of a potential tragedy that would not bring Tobago any advancement, but rather leave a sour taste upon Tobagonians, Trinidadians, and would-be visitors. I just want to tell Watson Solomon Duke, you and what you did and encourage people to do by running sandals, that left a negative, sour taste in Trinidadians' mouth, Tobagonians' mouth, and foreigners' mouth. Saying the beach was just a 5-minute walk from the airport with bathroom facilities and security, he said, all of this is up for grabs. Drew claimed there was a certain level of unease, of frustration, of confusion in the minds of those who ply their trade there. Given an update on the project at a news conference on October the 28th, Boris said 2 weeks ago the division received the second set of conceptual designs from the project managers, Eco-Industrial Development Company of Tobago Limited, E-IDCOT. They made a presentation to the Executive Council, which found favor with the Executive Council, she said. But Boris said the division intends to have another consultation with the users of the facility and other key stakeholders, including others in Crown Point, Canaan, and Bonaparte. She said the division will also collaborate with the Office of the Chief Secretary on the next consultations happens, because we would want the public to at least be able to view, even if they may not be able to attend. We would want to make the presentation of both conceptual designs so that everybody will be aware of what the designs are. Boris said all the designs have come from user feedback. One more paragraph and I'm finished with Miss Unclean and Unwashed and Uncircumcised. None of these designs were designed by myself or any member of the Executive Council. It was the surveys that was done by E-IDCOT last year, and then they themselves having consultation with the users over the last month, right? So there's going to be more consultation with regard to Story. So let me continue. I also saw something with the minority leader and the councillor. They were speaking. I didn't listen to it properly, so I don't want to go into it, but I'll play it on on Friday. They were making a presentation. I think they were speaking about Tobago self-governance or the bill. Something to do with the bill, right? So I will bring that. I don't want to bring the two of them together. So the president of Trinidad and Tobago, Her Excellency, is Christine Kangaloo. This is what she would have said. I don't understand this. Why go on there? Okay. So I'll have to go to the original place because it's not opening to that. And we got things to do. You want to stick with these chronicles at all? Let me see. Let me see. President. Christine, only give me a minute. Speech. Let me see if I find it here. What is this? Okay, hold on. There's a reason why I really wanted to read this, because what she was talking about, she was speaking about families. Okay, so here what I'm going to do. Let me go on Facebook and see if I find the thread again. Let's see. Which part it was? She was speaking about about families. Let me see if I can get it quickly. Please, 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 please. Let me get it. Please, please, please. Where I saw that. Where I saw that. Where I saw that. Right. Okay. Right, so it was in CNC3 News. It said, President, the 30th of October, President Kangaloo, strong families, crucial to nation's development. President Christine Kangaloo says the role of the family is crucial to the development of Trinidad and Tobago. She made the statement while delivering the Fiti address at the Diwali Negara celebration and dance competition on Tuesday. Kangaloo noted that families that extend love and support can significantly influence the lives and behaviors of individuals. She remarked that those who live in homes characterized by support, safety, and love are far less likely to engage in acts of violence and abuse towards others. They are far less likely to gravitate towards violence and crime as a means of feeling valued and respected. They are less likely to need the false sense of power or security that comes from wielding a weapon. They are more likely to be self-confident and creative and are more likely to be open and giving. That is the kind of person that builds a true home produces. Speaking on this year's theme at the Nagar, Grish Ashram, Building Families and Homes, the president explained that building a home goes beyond creating a physical living space. It is about putting together a psychological environment in which we feel safe, secure, and supported. It is about creating a physical space in which we can truly be ourselves. The home provides a sense of stability and health. People build trust and feel comfortable. All the elements that goes into building a home are also the elements that goes into building a nation, she added. President Kangaloo asserted that a successful nation consists of individuals who feel or who trust and feel comfortable around one another. She pointed out that people living in loving homes can relate better to their wider communities, school, workplaces, and public spaces. The president emphasized that if Trinidad and Tobago is to rise above the challenges it faces, each individual must commit to being part of and accountable to a family unit. That commitment requires us to be present for others. It requires us to be available to lend support and assistance when needed. It requires us to be present and not absentee fathers. It requires us to be devoted mothers, respectful children, and caring siblings. In Trinidad and Tobago, we sometimes pay lip service to what it means to be a family. We expect others, including the state, to be there for us without making time for others. Just a couple of days ago, Chief Secretary Fali Chavez Augustine would have basically said in his speech at the Diwali Negar in Tobago, not in Negar, but at the celebration of festivities, that mothers in Tobago are to blame for their sons and what is happening with crime, something to that effect. Watson Solomon Juke blast him out the water and say he must apologize. The same Watson Solomon Juke, who is very disrespectful to women, Excuse me. Remember having an extramarital affair with another woman that was played out publicly. So no respect for no woman. Remember calling Franca and the next one and all this was stink and dirty. And a young girl, Janelle, calling her vagrant and all that. Remember those things? Threatening the Auditor General at the time that if she come across to Tobago to do, she work where you do and where you wouldn't do. You remember those things, right? Calling Miss Jennifer Petit's primers, saying basically she's ugly and all that. He is saying that Fali should apologize because their mothers didn't bring them up like that. Well, then how did your mother bring you up? Because look how you turned out and the things that you were doing. Anywho, the salient point is this. Again, today we're talking about mighty CORBEAUX, DOUENs, Diablesse, LAGAHOOs, and the LABASSE liquors. You all are free to associate the name with anybody you choose. I would not. So, the salient point is that Fali was speaking about family. Minister Hines, as National Security Minister, would have mentioned something to the effect that crime in this country, some people in the public are complacent. Some people in the public have to be family. People get on and they get on and they get on. Coming up beside Miss Sister and all, in one of her speeches at the well, he also said basically the same thing, the family. We have Her Excellency Christine Kangaloo saying the same thing. That is not what we have been always saying all the time. It's not just about the state, that the family must have some impact on it, and they can't simply say, well, we make the child and we don't make them mine. Weren't we not saying that? So everybody's saying that. So let me tell you, a few minutes later, and you all will tell me where all the thing they should fit in. Few minutes later, well, not literally, school talks on bullying ends in bloody brawl between two moms. Who again? Two moms, meaning mothers, parents. 19 hours ago in The Guardian. What was supposed to be an amicable school intervention between two mothers to deal with a bullying issue descended into violence and bloodshed outside a secondary school. Police say criminal charges are expected to be laid soon against the parents. Videos of the fight between the two mothers in front of Cedra Secondary School on Monday have gone viral, evoking condemnation from various stakeholders. Guardian Media understands that the woman went to the school to address a bullying issue involving their children. One of the parents became aggressive and was told to leave the compound by school officials. When the other parent exited the school, the woman had an exchange of words that quickly escalated into violence in the presence of students. The brawl was recorded and videos were shared on social media. In two clips, one a 40-minute long and the other 30-minute long, both women were seen barefooted, pulling each other hair. One of them was on the ground. The other used a cutlass to assault the other woman, who began to bleed. The woman with the cutlass also had a glass bottle that eventually fell to the ground and broke. A female student tried to join the fight but was stopped by a man who was trying to pat the woman. The man also had to physically stop another man from attacking one of the women with a kajak. President of the National Parents Teachers Association, Walter Stewart, said what was even more reprehensible was that the daughter of one of the women was present and heard screaming, "Mommy, mommy." He called on the police to investigate the incident urgently and lay charges. This is totally unacceptable. We denounce it in the strongest terms, and we want our parents to ensure that they see themselves as exemplars, as role models to their children and to their charges, and at all times to conduct themselves in manners befitting of proper and acceptable parenting, Stewart said. Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association President Martin Lumpkin joined Stewart in condemning the incident. Stewart and Lumpkin said the behavior of the parents was one reason for indiscipline and violence among students in schools. Noting that tutor is outraged and disgusted by the parents' conduct, Lumpkin said parents should be setting better examples for their children and for the nation's youth. Based upon some of the videos being circulated, we can understand why some of our students behave in the manner which they do. We employ all parents who set positive examples for their children to do so, and for those who are deficient in that area, we hope that your behavior will improve and as such will set better examples for your children. Also joining in on the condemnation was ACP South Central Wayne Meister. He described the parents' behaviors and action as totally unacceptable and said it will not be tolerated. Meister said officers from the Cedros police station are investigating the incident and charges are expected to be laid soon. Guardian Media understand that one of the parents sought medical attention at the Point 14 hospital. When we were saying parents and the homes they come from, and they were saying, no, the government, the Minister of National Security, now the chicken is coming home to roost. Where everybody now all of a sudden jumping out of all is the parents. So two parents, two mothers went down there to treat with a bullying situation by their children. I don't know which one of them. Things broke down. One leave, the next one come out, and outside the share words and cutlass come in it. So you come with a cutlass. You come with a cutlass. Today we could have been hearing you dealt a bloody blow with your cutlass on the woman and you're facing a murder. And then someone and all the child bawling, mommy to stop. All in front of the school or the children seeing. What is happening in that home? And then those children have to leave and come in a school environment with those kind of behaviors always showing there. It gets worse. It gets worse. Let me find it. It gets worse. Just give me a minute. It's the government. It's the government who calls them two mothers. One leave from home or somewhere with a cutlass. Going down in she anger, two of them going the anger, as the government calls them to be angry so that they went to treat with the issues of the children in the school. And the government had them so angry, the Minister of National Security had them so angry that they leave the intervention with the children, come outside and start to fight. Cutlass pass, who come in to beat who with carjack and all them things. The government. I tell you, it gets worse. Daily Express. Dad's bizarre excuse for rape of child found guilty October the 29th, 2024. A 54-year-old man from South Trinidad has been found guilty of incest after raping his 14-year-old daughter twice in 2007. In admitting to raping the girl to her mother, prosecutor said the man, when confronted by his wife, told her he had replaced her with the child. This was because the mother had left him a month prior after she was physically assaulted by him. On Tuesday, following a judge-alone trial, Justice Katian Waterman Lacho found the man guilty on both counts, as well as on an additional count of grievous sexual assault against the girl. He was remanded into prison custody and is to be sentenced on December the 4th. The evidence in the case was that on the night of May the 12th, 2007, The girl was asleep on a mattress shared with her younger sister when their father entered the room. He then removed the girl's clothes and raped her. Prosecutors Dylan Martin and Nira Budan contended that the next day the man was watching a pornographic movie when he called the girl into the room, held onto her hand and began asking her to have sex. She refused, pulled away her hand and walked out the house, the prosecutor said. The same night, however, he again went into her bedroom and forced her to perform oral sex on him. He asked the girl to have intercourse, but she refused, slapped him in the face and went to bed. The prosecutor said on the night of May the 19th, the girl again was in her room when the man entered and raped her. It's not the man, it's she father. And only put the name. When it's African people, only just put the name. Vanilla Allen Toppin had no regrets, and the UNC had no regrets, in my opinion, when they stood up and had Vanilla Allen lie on Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley and call him a rapist and a pedophile and call his father a rapist. All they had no qualms about them putting up them things all over. But when a case like this, all they don't put nobody's name, it's the man. It's the man. And this is truth. And what happened in Parliament was a lie. The prosecutor said on the night of March 19, the girl was in her room when the man entered and raped her. While in the process of doing so, the phone rang and he stopped the assault. The girl eventually told her mother of what had taken place and the woman confronted her husband. He admitted to raping his daughter but said he replaced her with a child. A police report was later filed. After being medically examined, the doctor found that a hymen was missing. When police went to the man's home to place him under arrest, he attempted to run off but was held by police officers before being charged. Throw away the blasted key. He had intention, in my opinion, in his mind. Because he told the wife he done replace you with this little girly child. Incest. Down in the Southland. And I want to say, I will not be surprised if it's somebody with a proud Indian surname. That is my opinion I give in here. That child could be scarred for life, especially if they don't get the proper type of counseling. I imagine that child had to go to school. You see where it does start? You see where it does start? Where it start? In the home, where she's supposed to be safe. President Kangaroo said the home supposed to be a safe place for the children. Was that a safe place for that child and her little sister? The home where the mother come with the cutlass and all them fighting, is that safe spaces for them children and them who live in home, who bullying who and all that? No, the cry all the time was the government and Fitzgerald Hines. The chickens has come home to roost. I tell all it today is about LAGAHOO, Diablesse, the mighty CORBEAUX, DOUEN, and the LAGAHOO liquors, or they could put the label where they want to. Let me continue. Oh, Lord have mercy. Martin Daly, again, this issue with the PNM internal elections, they have issues with the internal election, everybody having a voice to talk about it. I just want to read this, and this was from a former General Secretary of the People's National Movement, Mr. Ashton Ford. And when I don't read this, I left in that right there, because he would know better. And all them who talking, they should know better too, but probably they have their own agendas. Excuse me. So it goes like this. It is not the first time the People's National Movement, PNM, has had to deal with internal convulsions, and it certainly will not be the last. The last imbroglio, Forgive me. You know me, I have no shame with that. I spelling it for you. I'd seen the word, pronunciation is the next thing. EMBROGLIO. Right. Sparked by the party's leadership decision to cancel the 51st convention resulted in overwhelming support for the General Council meeting on the 19th of October. I was shocked and dismayed by the front page report in the Express on Monday, 21st October, headlined Balize Bacchanal. Anyone reading that dramatic headline would be led to believe that the party's headquarters erupted in shouting, obscene language, and near fistfights over the cancellation of the convention, none of which occurred at the meeting. Instead, the orderly proceedings were quite different from the Express report. The facts are clear, as outlined by Lady Vice Chairman Mrs. Camille Robinson-Regis. There were 76 votes in favor of supporting the leadership's decision to cancel the convention, 5 abstention, and just 1 against. So where did this so-called bacchanal take place? Since when does a simple vote against a motion equate to confusion and chaos or threats to democracy within the party? It is a disgrace that a national newspaper can distort the facts and present a narrative that is wholly false and misleading. As stated by the Lady Vice Chairman, democracy was clearly demonstrated when the political leader, Dr. Keith Rowley, paused for 20 minutes of winding up his address, where he explained the rationale for the cancellation to invite members to express their views. Such erroneous press reports fuel speculation that the media are deliberately creating confusion and undermining the ruling party in the lead up to the general elections next year. As a party member of 56 years and having served on the General Council Central Executive as a General Secretary, I have never witnessed a political leader interrupting his closing remarks to allow members to question him on his opinions and decisions. The PNM has faced many challenges in its 68-year history, from the loss of the federal elections in 1958 to the resignation of the then deputy leader, A.N.R. Robinson, the 1970 disturbances, Dr. Williams' offer of resignation in 1974, the departure of notable figures like Carl Hudson Phillips and Freddie Ferreira, and the formation of the ONR, who, as predicted by then Prime Minister George Chambers, did not win any seats. This latest episode is merely a storm in a teacup, misrepresented as infighting within the PNM. It is baffling how one vote by a Jenny Come Lately can disrupt the party, especially with support from so-called armchair critics, some of whom are party defectors holding personal grudges against a political leader, along with those who have fought against the PNM and lost, and self-appointed political analysts. At the party's school under our esteemed founder, Dr. Williams, we were taught that political strategy is a powerful tool. And as often said, it's like playing poker. You never show your hand if you have an ace up your sleeve. In light of this, why all the hype over the leadership decision to cancel the convention, and when it's evident that questions and clarification would be addressed at the General Council? Again, in light of this, why all the hype over the leadership decision to cancel the convention when it was evident that questions and clarification would be addressed at the General Council? Party members must recognize that the opposition manifesto aims to unite various parties to defeat the PNM, as they lack credible plans to govern the country. Never forget the motto, party before country. That is Kamala's Prasad Bissessa's stance. Now is the time for us to rally together and continue working in the best interest of the nation with our rallying cry, great is the PNM and we shall prevail. Ashton Ford Arima. I leave it there. I would have also seen it have this, there's an individual who is on a radio station. He positions himself as an educator of the people. And he's educating politically. And I saw somebody send me a TikTok that he did. And from the time you start off saying that Trinidad and Tobago got independence in 1956, I know the rest coming is a set of BS, because clearly you ain't read your script or you ain't doing no researching. So I want to tell persons like that, stop misrepresenting, stop fooling people, stop putting propaganda out there. Another thing that we have not been politically schooled. The People's National Movement, you just read it, they had their party schools, they have party groups, they have women's league, they have constituency executives and all that. And they know, they meet, they talk, they are told about the foundation of the PNM and all things that are relevant and necessary within the scope. If you're a PNM member and you're willing, there's information there and you're taught and you could ask questions and all that. Right. The next thing is this. I want to tell people, there's nothing wrong in trying to self-actualization. Maslow speak about it, the hierarchy of needs, and to the top of the triangle is self-actualization. It's a small area. That was from Maslow's theory, kind of showing that not really much people has reached to that level. At the base of that, which is much wider, is people quest to get food, shelter, clothing. Those are the basic things that man needs. From that, you're looking for love, you're looking for companionship, you look so at different levels. There are some people who would have skipped all them levels in the haste to reach the top and would have reached there without having the basic concepts of things. And when they reach there, they're not able or they're not qualified, they don't have the ability to do anything. So I would advise some people, creep before you crawl. Get those areas out the way first, and then you can go to the next level. But you see, trying to walk and you ain't creep yet, you just end up singing and looking foolish. Because if you're trying to walk, you never creep. You will start to shake and fall, right? And if you never do your research and do anything, haven't read anything, and it just is a headline reader, or somebody tell you, or you hear somebody say something, then you can't come and sit and have no comprehensive, coherent, logical conversation with nobody. So people, be careful where you are getting your information from. So let me continue. Ram Saran, well, remember Ram Saran? Hi, Marky Tanda, we need a strong Afro-Trinidad woman to run the PNM and the country. Just because, where's all the fascination with a woman running? A woman running don't mean anything, At the end of the person, let's try that with Kamala Persad, but a woman and it ain't working. This concept you will have because it's a woman, it will be better. That is foolish and outdated. When you're in leadership, it has nothing to do with this woman or man. It's if you could come to do the blasted work. Yeah? So PNM need no strong black African woman to run anything. They need a leader who will be able to do the work. And the work is not simply about running a ministry. You must be able to transcend more than that. Because a political leader of a party or the prime minister of a country is not simply you just run a ministry. And I'm not throwing shade at anybody, I'm talking in general. It has to go more than that because a prime minister has to do other things. Yeah? Okay, so let me just get that there. So Ram Saran, you all remember Ram Saran? Ram Saran, if I forget, I'll bring it back to you. Because it seems to be a history that some people have in this country are writing to external body to put deliberately or unconsciously a bad light on this country. So this was in the Express, October the 29th. A local businessman has written to the International Monetary Fund. Give me a minute, the whole thing closed again. It's an Anna Ramdas story. I don't know if that makes a difference, but a local businessman has written to the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, calling on the body to intervene in Trinidad and Tobago's foreign exchange forex crisis and hold the government to account for its lack of transparency, which is severely affecting businesses. Rajnanan Ransaran, owner and founder of Ransaran Dairy Products, sent a 10-page letter dated October the 18th, 2024 to the IMF Executive Director, raising an alarm over the non-existence of records of policies with respect to Forex. In subsequent letters, Ramsaran also wrote to Auditor General Jaiwanti Ramdas requesting urgent action and to the Central Bank Governor, Dr. Alvin Hilaire, asking for information on forex distribution. This letter seeks to bring attention to the glaring transparency issues and governance failure that hinders economic growth and breach international standards, issues that directly affect not just business owners like myself, but the entire national economic stability, Ramsaran letters to the IMF stated. He said that there is an extreme shortage of forex, and he sought to obtain information about the distribution policy through his attorney, Richard Jagasar, from the Ministry of Finance via a Freedom of Information Act, which was told no information on the matter exists. The absence of these fundamental documents suggests that the central bank cannot effectively manage foreign exchange distribution or ensure compliance with international standards, which raises concerns about accountability and corporate responsibility, stated. Ramsaran noted Trinidad and Tobago is an IMF member, and the ministry's response indicated a failure to meet these obligations, potentially breaching the IMF reporting requirements. Given this alarming situation, we are urgently calling on the IMF to intervene and ensure that Trinidad and Tobago adheres to its commitments under IMF regulations, he stated. Ramsaran said there appears to be an unfair distribution of the little forex that is available, with no equality or equability amongst the business community and, by extension, citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. He said that the FOIA, that the Freedom of Information Act application, sought to obtain information and asked for several items, including any documents detailing the total amount of foreign exchange allocated by the central bank to commercial banks for distribution in the local markets for the period 2015 to 2023. He noted that the Finance Ministry response on July 29, 2024, stated that each of the required documents, 7 requests, could not be supplied because they do not exist. Ramsaran stated the ministry assertion that the requested documents do not exist raises serious concerns about the governance framework and the corporate responsibility within Trinidad and Tobago financial institution. I will leave it there for a reason. Now, sometimes I'll say something, Sometimes when you write a Freedom of Information Act and you don't write for exactly what it is, they respond to what you write for. You have to be very specific. And who knows if it was deliberately written in such a way that those things asking for, they know don't exist. I'm just asking a question. You know why I'm saying those things? Trinidad and Tobago is a sovereign country. And why it is there seem to be some people always want to write external bodies to intervene into we business. I want to know why. And they always seem to have the surname, the proud African, the proud Indian surname. Some people, they like to get twisted and say, I say all people. Some. Because his surname is Ramsaran. He is asking the IMF to intervene into a sovereign country. We have no loan with the IMF. We own IMF, nothing. You want the IMF to intervene. Right? All remember Ramsaran? Let me just draw it back to the memory. This was in Loop News, August 13, 2020. Trinidad and Tobago company under fire after employee makes racist remarks on Facebook. A Trinidad and Tobago-based manufacturer came under heavy fire on Wednesday after an employee posted racist comments on social media. Naila Ramsaran, the daughter of the owners of Ramsaran Dairy Products, posted, I hope Rowley starts putting contraceptives in their water supply. Yes, because these cockroaches keep populating and the only thing they know is how to vote. Her comments, which was posted on the aftermath of the country general election, sparked mass outrage with many calling for boycott of all products manufactured by her family company. On Wednesday evening, a number of country supermarket chains severed ties with the company. Naila Ramsaran later apologized to the Post, saying they came in response to years of racial discrimination against her and her family. The apology may have been issued a little too late because on Thursday evening, a number of supermarket chains publicly denounced the statement made and ended their association with Ramsaran until further notice. Hear what she said again, and she said years of, and that's where they reside to. They come back, some of them playing victim. What it is, you saying it was years of what? Racial discrimination against your family, and Ramsaran drinks selling was selling out in this country. I and all used to drink Ramsaran peanut punch. If we were discriminating, we would not buy it because we see clearly on it in Mark Ramsaran. But anytime you catch them in the racism, they revert back to the victim and project, oh, they was doing that. Hear what she said again, eh? I hope probably start putting contraceptive in their water supply. Yes, because these cockroaches keep populating and the only thing they know how to do is vote. And today, she father writing to the IMF because he can't get Forex, a 10-page or 100-page letter for them to come and intervene and take over in the running away business when it comes to foreign exchange. I continues. So I'm seeing here Minister Embert. 9 hours ago. In the Guardian, I'm waiting for it to open. Embert, Exim Bank set up to assist exporters, not importers. More focus needs to be placed on foreign exchange earnings and what can be done to boost the country's export and plug the forex leakage into the system. That's according to economist Dr. Valmiki Arjun, responding to the recent articles on businessmen complaining bitterly about the ongoing forex crunch. Minister of Finance Com Embert, in a news release yesterday, said that the foreign exchange window opened by the Exim Bank for wholesale importers of basic foods and pharmaceuticals during the COVID-19 pandemic was a temporary initiative. Embert said the addition of a second forex window at the Exim Bank for essential imports during COVID-19 pandemic cannot create a situation where 4 years later the government is being held liable by certain private sector businessmen for the items they ordered and received without paying for them. Later on in the day, in a social media post, the minister said, the Exim Bank was established to facilitate the growth and expansion of our export and manufacturing sectors, to enhance our foreign exchange earnings and create employment through assistance to our exporting companies, and not to facilitate wholesalers of imported finished goods. On October the 18th, Rajnanan Ramsaran, owner and founder of Ramsaran Dairy Products, sent a letter to the International Monetary Fund, which I spoke about before, Executive Director, the Central Bank Governor, and the Auditor General. The same Auditor General who refused to enter into her report the revenue of $2.something billion. Raising concerns over the non-existence of records of policies respect to forex. The absence of these fundamentals, well, I read all that already. So commenting on this development, economist Dr. Valmiki Arjun told Guardian Media that the forex leakage are another major concern, which includes transfers pricing, where multinationals shift products or shift profits to low tax jurisdictions, capital flight, where local invest in foreign assets deemed less risky, and trade misinvoicing, which involves exporters underreporting the value goods to move capital out of the country or evade taxes. Adrian stressed that plugging these leakages is crucial, but improving forex earnings via imported export is even more vital. The focus should shift from simply reducing forex demand to increasing supply driven by enhanced private sector productivity and competitiveness, which will increase export and forex inflow. This requires removing business obstacles to boost private sector investment, such as improving SME financing, reducing port custom delays, mitigating crime, and promoting special economic zones for greater foreign direct investment. Right? And he goes on and on and on. And of course, we have Mariona Brown jumping out. I just want to ask Mr. Brown, who is an accountant, I understand, I could be wrong, whether or not he has some challenges, legal challenges in Barbados. That is why he had to leave Barbados and come back to Trinidad. I want to also ask Mr. Brown, who would like to expound on anything that is economical in Trinidad and Tobago as an accountant, if he has any challenges. I'm asking a question with abuse. I'm just asking. And I just want to ask Ramson, and I don't know because I'm not a businessman woman. Is it probably the reason why you're not getting foreign exchange because probably since after what your daughter say that you have seen a decline in sales, you may not have seen it much in Trinidad. But if you're exporting abroad, because people abroad will take these racial things lightly, is it that you're not selling as much as you could on the outside market, so you're not getting the foreign exchange for it? I'm just asking because I'm not an economist. So let me continue. But again, as I'm saying, there always seem to be a certain some of them with the proud Indian ancestral names. They love the white man. They love to write to the white man to come down on we, the black people. So I am saying EMBD has to pay contractors. Now, they are operating as if they win the whole case. The situation with the Privy Council just recently, where Rudal Munilal and contractors have to put in the defense by November the 6th of this year, has nothing to do with this victory with that junior Sami and they get, where EMBD have to pay them. That is two separate things. So don't let them conflate the two issues. This situation with EMBD to pay junior Sami contractors $82 million is for work that junior Sami had done. And I am saying in all fairness, if the contractors had done the work to the satisfaction of who gave them the work to do, they should be paid. The case now with Rudal Munilal and them same contractors has to do with bed rigging and fraud of contracts, two separate things. So this case does not vindicate Juni Samuel and the other contractors from that case of the bed rigging, alleged bed rigging and fraud. This is only about payments he was seeking, and they didn't want to pay him for the work he do. He win his money. So that's a victory. The next case, November the 6th, if the contractors and Rudal Munilal, Dr. Rudal Munilal, don't put in their defense for that part of the case that speaks about fraud and bid rigging and contracts and all that, then EMBD, I guess, will seek for the court to throw the case and EMBD will win the case. So they have to put in the submission and it has to go to court or trial or whatever before Francis Prasad, Justice Francis Prasad. So don't make them fool or they get the spondat and God they win the case. All the contractor, Juni Sami win, is the money for the work they do. EMBD didn't want to pay it. They went to court. Privy Council said they must be paid. That is it. But the matter that we recently had where the Privy Council said that there is a case to be answered by the contractors and Dr. Munilal and them that is still there. Okay, let me not get it twisted. So let me continue. Because they will come out and make all the feel case done. No, it ain't done. I'm also seeing that Dr. Rudal Munilal wants to know how much money was paid in lawyers going after this matter for EMBD, this civil case. And I want to ask Dr. Munilal, with all due respect, how much money he paying lawyers to keep it out from this situation where EMBD has won the matter in the Privy Council? Because you finding money to pay your lawyers to keep you out of jail or getting charged or whatever, and the government have to pay money in order to get redress and get back monies on behalf of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. And they have to have the best lawyers. White collar crime ain't cheap. And if you want to go after the monies and get the best defense, you have to put out money. And it will be worth it in the end. So while you're asking how much money you want to know, money government paying, we too would like to know how much money you putting out. Because it is a civil case, of course, because the government can't charge all them is not the police or nothing, but they can seek back redress coming out of that situation where they were able to prove in front of Justice Aboud that he said there's something to be answered with these contractors and how they get the contracts and all that under the minister who was there. So that's where we are now. So I want to read you all something from that case, not the one where Junior Sammy would have won his money, but from the one where there's questions to be answered. There's questions to be answered by, or defense has to be put in by all those contractors and also Rudal Munilal, Dr. Rudal Munilal. These were some text messages that form a part of the judgment. All right, let me see if I get it here. Okay. Okay, let me see what happened here. Right, so these were private SMS messages and phone messages, emails passing between Dr. Munilal, Mr. Paraswam, and Mr. Ramnath and Kalko. Here where it says, 1. Mr. Paraswam to Dr. Munilal, October the 25th, 2014. Minister, good afternoon. Thank you very much for the private meeting and the confidence you have placed in me thus far. It is greatly appreciated and I'm honored to be part of your team. Thank you again very much. Mr. Paraswam told Dr. Munilal, the 3rd of November 2024. Morning, Chief. I trust you had a good weekend. I was just asked to make arrangements for interviews for the position of CEO of EMBD. Dylan McKenzie, off the record, told me that he has to meet with the chairman to do the shortlist. I am asking for your assistance in this matter as I would like to be the chosen person. You know I am willing and ready to work with you in getting the job done. Any assistance in making this happen will be greatly appreciated, Dr. Munilal replied. Noted, Mr. Paraswam to Dr. Munilal, 5 messages. 1st of December 2014. Afternoon, I am told your instruction are to terminate KJS from the 2 sites he's on. Can you confirm? This is an inference to the Exchange 3 and Picton 3 sites. Dr. Munilal replied, is not known. I don't know. I wanted to bring him to the table to discuss a way forward for both parties, but he was told, no discussing, and this was your instruction. He has a dispute with us about 43% rate increase amounting to about 13 something, or something so. Of the surplus, we have 148 remaining. How should I proceed with this KJS matter? Chair wants to do termination later tomorrow, latest. Mr. Parasam to Munilal, the 3rd of December 2024. I enjoyed the line last night, and it was an honor to hear you say I am the newest member of the crew. On Sunday, I would like you to meet my wife, Dr. Munilal to Mr. Parasram, 13th of December 2014. No, need 25M from Ramhet Facility Project and 10M for cargo. Text exchanges between Mr. Parasam and Dr. Munilal, 18th of December 2024. Mr. Parasam. Documents for Ramjet being prepared. Problems with Calco as it is variations that was not approved. Chairman told me I am not to make any payments to him. Chair also tell me he is instructing me to not to pay. Dr. Munilal to Calco, Mr. Parasam. Yes, to Calco, Dr. Munilal. What about Ramit? Mr. Parasam. Payments will be ready in the morning. It went for I signature and engineer given me certificate also. Daniel has checked but wants to see certificate first. Dr. Munilal. Good, Dr. Munilal. Send a check for me to give to Ramhit Tom. I don't know what I mean tomorrow. Mr. Ramisa. Will do so. Will so do. Text messages between Dr. Munilal and Mr. Parasham, 3rd of January 2015. Dr. Munilal. Need to pay Calco some money? Mr. Parasham. Okay, Chief. I think you can 4M. Dr. Munilal. That's safe? Give me a check, man. Give me a check, man. Prepare check. We'll have to confirm, but I know he submitted invoice for the annual. Mr. Parasam, will do. Text messages between Dr. Munilal, Mr. Parasam, the 5th of January 2025. Dr. Munilal. Sand pit in Middleton. Kuva. You know about that, Mr. Ramisa? It is a new sand pit. We are exploring the idea of opening. Dr. Munilal. Want to leave to Ramhit and Calco, Mr. Parasham. Understood. But we now making applications, so it will still some time off. But I will accelerate, Dr. Munilal. Fast forward. Mr. Parasham to Dr. Munilal, the 22nd of January 2015. Chief, good night. As you see, I don't really ask so much, but I am asking for assistance in obtaining a single unit family home in Egypt, a HGC house and development in Egypt Village, known as Oasis Green. What you said? Asgar had all the info, but I will also you. Any assistance will be greatly appreciated. Mr. Parasam to Dr. Munilal, 21st of January 2015. I'm going to stop just for my head out to me. My reference 113102 EID-TVK. Application name Gary Pamasar. Oasis Green, Egypt Village. Unit 2, 118, 119, 120, or 122 if possible. Thanks, Dr. Munilal. You want a house? Mr. Parasam said yes. The Parasam to Munilal, 26th of January 2015. Gentle reminder about the house. Text message between Mr. Parasam, Mr. Ramit, 10th of February 2015. Mr. Parasam, my reference 113, say it over again, application name Gary Pramasa, Oasis Green, Egypt Village, any one of these units. 2, 118, 109, 120, 122, if possible. Thanks in advance. God call. Have to collect package tomorrow, Mr. Ramnath. My friend, great, we on the inside. EMBD alleges that the package referred to in the interview issued by HGC to successful applicants. Oh yeah, this goes on and on. Let me show you where I'm reading this from. So I didn't feel I just making up thing, right? So when the Privy Council rule and say it had thing to answer, it had things to answer. This is the court document, 122 pages, CV _17_0141F, capital DD 06 AUG 2020.pdf, right? That is coming out from the judgment. All they hear for yourself, and it goes on and on and on. So that is the matter in which Dr. Munilal and the contractors have to prepare the defense against those things there, right? So that money where Ting get has nothing to do with this particular case. So let me continue quick. All I remember Piako, because Dr. Munilal wants to operate as though this is some personal thing against him. All I remember Piako scandal, when is the own Attorney General who would have requested the assistance of Bob Linguist from Canada, forensic auditor, to come down and do work on this Piako thing, the own AG, Ramesh Lawrence Maharaj. But Kamala and them like to tell all you, it was a witch hunt by the PNM. How it could be the PNM witch hunt when it's all the AG who went and get a forensic auditor to come down here and he find out all the massive corruption? Not only that, people don't make jail in America for that same thing. And if it was a hoax, Kamala Prasad Bissessa, why when Ole came into office in 2010-15, one of the first things Ole do, take a judge off the bench, make him a minister, put him in a ministry Ole created, Ministry of Justice. This woman is to work there, I think, to Crystal Moore. And one of the only thing that ministry ever do is create Section 34, which eventually freed the two financiers of the UNC who was implicated in the Piako scandal. And then when they were to be extradited to America to face charges because people already made jail for it, the next Attorney General who come in after Ramesh was Anand Ramlogan, assured the Americans that they will face trial down here. We have everything in place. And the Americans didn't bother with extradition, and no case was held here at all. So this is what Bob Linguist would have said in 2001, Thursday, the 29th, 2001. The Linguist report on the Piako Airport Development Project now establishes the enormous, indeed unbelievable, extent of corruption involved in this scandalous affair. Ever since Justice Diablesse had pronounced on the illegality of the original contract and the country's engineers had condemned the non-tender award, the project had acquired a certain notoriety, which grew as the work progressed. Still, what has now been revealed to us as a result of the investigations of forensic investigator Robert Linguist amounts to a horror story beyond anything we have imagined. To begin with, this project makes history as it is the first to be conceived not simply as an effort to provide the country with a required facility, but more so as a tremendous opportunity to plunder for the exorbitant enrichment of friends and supporters of Mr. Pandey's government, of which Kamala Prasad Bissessa was a part of. As Mr. Linguist points out, the selection of Northern Construction, owned by Ish Galbaran Singh, for a new contract following the suspension of Construction Package 6, as well as the selection of Northern following the bid process on two other contracts, were all the result of an original conspiracy to corrupt the contract selection process for the unjust enrichment of the players and of defrauding the various state agencies of considerable sums. The shocking nature of this revelation is not easy to digest. It established a new and incredible dimension of corruption in the government, a deliberate, planned, well-calculated, cold-blooded design to use this mega project as a device for systematically siphoning off millions of dollars into personal pockets. And it is clear from the number of players involved, the scheme must have had to cooperation may have had the cooperation of a wide range of participants, both in the government and amongst the contractors engaged in the project. According to the Lindquist report, the project began with 6 contractors and expanded eventually to 13, and the fraudulent schemes were perpetuated by the various parties throughout the entire contracting process. His investigation discovered such instances of fraud as price fixing and bid rigging, duplicate contract payments, false invoicing, defective pricing, commingling of contracts, conflict of interest, false representation, improper release of confidential information, product substitutes, tailored specification, and time limitation. But if the level of fraud revealed in this project is absolutely shocking, it is equally amazing to consider that such a report was in the possession of the Prime Minister since January 2001, a full year ago, and he did absolutely nothing about it. In fact, Mr. Pandey continued to call on the critics of corruption in his government to produce the evidence. What more evidence did he want than what the government own hired international forensics accountant had provided his government? The Prime Minister's failure to act on this report in light of his consistent refusal to appoint inquiries into a host of other corruption scandals rocking his government is a serious indictment that must raise concerns about his moral fitness to hold office. His failure amounts to his condoning of this monumental fraud inflicted on the country, of which taxpayers will have to pay hundreds of millions over the next 20 years. The PM non-action is more troubling for the fact that he refused former AG Ramesh Maharaj funds for Lindquist to continue his investigations into other scandals and assuming responsibility for 2 squads set up by ex-AG, one of which was to assist the forensic investigation in his inquiries. In scoffing at corruption in his government, did Pandey not think that the truth will come out? Kamla Prasad Bissessa was a part of this government, and if my memory serves me right, when they would have fired Ramesh Lawrence Maharaj, she became the Attorney General. And then when Lindquist would have given her the report, there was no, this is what I think I recollect. So I'm saying it my way. Like when he gave them that report, there was no instruction for him to continue. So they took that report, and I'm not sure if they pay him or they didn't pay him or what back and out to pay and all that kind of thing, and the man left. And Mr. Pandey's alleged deceased had that in his possession all the time. But when people spoke about corruption in the UNC, he was saying only produce the evidence. So when I listened to the EMBD, that's why I read this. When I listened to EMBD and the situation happened with contractors there, it just brought back that to my memory. But this UNC government love to plagiarize Kamla Prasad Bissessa, and they love to write external agencies to interfere in our democracy. And let me just bring back this stolen memory. Again, we're talking about Diablesse, LAGAHOO, magnificent CORBEAUX, de la BASSE, liquors, and DOUEN. So this was Kamla Prasad Bissessa. This was in the news there, Tuesday, the 10th November 2020. Former ministers pour taste by UNC to plagiarize. Former ministers have called on opposition leader Kamla Prasad Bissessa to issue a personal apology to the UK leader of the Labour Party and the leader of the opposition, Sir Keir Starmer, as well as a public apology to Trinidad and Tobago for a plagiarized statement. A message posted on Prasad Bissessa's Facebook page congratulating the US President and Vice President-elect had clearly been taken from Starmer's message posted online a short time earlier. Former ambassador and head of the public service, Reginald Dumas, rest in peace, told Newsday on Monday afternoon that regardless of whether the message was a draft and released accidentally to the public, BASSE needed to act responsibly and apologize. He said it was put out as though it was an administrative error. I do not accept that. This was not an error. This is deliberate. If I were BASSE, I would get rid of that person who did it. This could be sabotage, as she is facing an internal election, one that could never know people's motive. Then again, it may not be sabotage. It may simply be plagiarism. In that sense, the person saw this message and decided to take a short and lazy way. I ain't going to read more than that. All right. Dumas said other former foreign affairs ministers, Winston Dukaran and Dr. Suresh Rambachan, said the matter was distasteful. They agreed it was an unprofessional and unforgivable act which has tarnished the image of the UNC. Let me see, UNC member and former Couva South MP Ramona Ramdial told Newsday on Monday afternoon that the error was inexcusable and insulted the party. She said whoever is responsible for plagiarizing Sir Keir Starmer's statement and approving to passing it off as greetings from the opposition leader should be dealt with firmly. Head should roll. I do not know if it's one person or more, but whoever is responsible for doing that should be fired. I leave it that there. Did Kamla Persad-Bissessar ever apologize? Did any heads ever roll? Do they apologize for anything? They just simply move on. Had it been a People's National Movement government, they would have had to apologize. Because the talk is, the PNM is held to a higher standard. You see that BS? Which give people the right to behave all kind of how and just put the burden of behaving well on the People's National Movement. Everybody must behave properly. Before I go there, I just want to read this quickly and then I'll go back to how they like to write to interfere. They like to write to people to interfere to democracy. The LAGAHOOs, the Diablesse, the LABASSE, liquors, the DOUENs, and the mighty CORBEAUX. One big bacchanal ensued over who should or should not speak at the Wali Negar final night. Some letter was sent out saying they don't want Minister Stuart Young there because he disrespect woman and he disrespectful to woman and the things he say. And again, I will say, Jack Warner was up inside all the party just last year. He's the one who tell we that Kamla Persad-Bissessar like girls. We don't know nothing about that. And using state resources to funnel to she girls. Something to that effect. We know in local parlance in this country, Jamaica and all over, when you talk about two girls in romantic relationships, they're a zami. So this conversation with disrespect, I don't see how a sex act could be disrespecting somebody. That's what I would have said before. So if I were to say Jane and Harry going in the toilet to have sex, am I disrespecting them? Am I saying that they're too nasty and they stink and they don't? No, I spoke about the act, not the person. And that is what Minister Stuart Young did. He spoke about an act, not a person. But it hit them home and rocked them. And because they have a fear, Minister Stuart Young, they want to jump with the scene. So anything he say. So they send out a letter to feel to embarrass. I don't know. He's not welcome to speak at their function. So let me read what happened here. 20 hours ago, Guardian, Rowley steps in to speak at Nagar closing. I don't understand why it means Rowley steps in. Minister Stuart Young was acting Prime Minister, meaning the Prime Minister is not in the country. And if there's anything that the Prime Minister has to do while he's out of the country, the acting Prime Minister is the one who does it. If the Prime Minister is back in the country, whatever is there for the Prime Minister to do, the Prime Minister will do it. He ain't have to step in. He's just assuming his role. But they like to act as Samaru. Do you know how they like to put the headlines? The controversy surrounding Stuart Young's attendance at tonight's final Night of Diwali Naga is now a mute agreement as Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has returned to the country and has confirmed his attendance. National Council of Indian Culture, President DOUEN Timal yesterday, just a minute, the whole thing just jumped. Right, National Council of Indian Culture, President DOUEN Timal yesterday confirmed that Dr. Rowley will be the featured speaker tonight. Timal said it is traditional for whoever is Prime Minister to speak on the closing night of the event, and this year is no different. But had Young still been acting as Prime Minister today, the NCIC, that's the abbreviation for the council, will have still resisted the pressure from the local chapter of the Global Organization for People of Indian Origin, CORBEAUX, who rescinded the invitation sent to the Office of the Prime Minister, OPM. In a letter to the NCIC on Monday, CORBEAUX TT speculated that Young will be attending as acting Prime Minister in the absence of Rowley, who went to the Commonwealth Health Sub-Government meeting Chogam in Somalia last week. The letter said it will be improper for Young to speak on such a holy platform, considering his recent controversy in Parliament, where he was caught hurling salacious insults at the opposition leader in a hot mic incident. Timal said the invite was sent to the OPM and not any political person. As far as we are concerned, the invitation was extended to the Office of the Prime Minister, and we do not intend to rescind the invitation because it was for the Office of the Prime Minister. We are dealing with the office and not individuals, Timal explained. However, an internal conflict has broken out in CORBEAUX over the issue. Hours after Guardian Media published contents of the letter stamped by CORBEAUX TNT and sent to NCIC, CORBEAUX parent body condemned the action in an email sent to the local chapter secretary and president. CORBEAUX Caribbean coordinator DOUEN told the local official that the letter was which likened Young to the Hindu demon god Ravana. Ravana was surprising, ill-advised, and does not represent CORBEAUX policy. An immediate discussion must be had to withdraw the same. Gosain alleged that CORBEAUX TNT Secretary Kara Nanku met with him at Nagar last Sunday and said that the UNC asked him to write to the NCIC to withdraw Young's invitation. In the email, Gosain said, I advised Mr. Nanku that CORBEAUX should not get involved in party politics in Trinidad and Tobago, and as such, no letter should be sent to NCIC until further consultation. I am saddened and disappointed to learn that such a letter was sent to the NCIC, and furthermore, the contents were made available to the press. Gosain said how CORBEAUX TT President Rajendra Sahadio Singh claimed he had no knowledge of the letter. This is a very serious matter. The NCIC has spent nearly $5 million to protect this event, to promote this event, and of course, the plum is always the Prime Minister visit. Having a deterrent like this, we want no part of this, unauthorized correspondent Gosain said. But CORBEAUX TT Secretary Nadan said he never received any instruction from the UNC to draft the letter. No, I never did that. I never said that to him. That is not at all so. And further to that, I am wondering why he is saying that. So it appears as though any controversy exists, that if any controversy exists, it's within and it is not from outside, Nanan told Guardian Media. Contacted yesterday, opposition leader Kamala Prasad categorically denied her party had any involvement in the matter. Furthermore, Nanan said he did not see a reason to withdraw his letter to the NCIC because historically the local chapter has never had to consult with the parent organization before putting out a statement. Never have we done anything where we had to consult with the international or regional coordinator. We never knew that everything we do, we had to consult them, and that is not all. So because people have personal agendas, it's probably trickled down in the wrong. So because people may have personal agendas, it probably tickled them in the wrong place, Nanan said. Nanan said their position was a political and had no more to do with defending a woman of Indian origin. Let me read that again. Nanan said their position was a political and and had more to do with defending a woman of Indian origin, as he believes too often people of Indian descent faces attacks in this country without response. That is sounding just like when the Ramsaran girl makes she apology. She said it's because of years of discrimination against Indian people. Here, you know. He believes often Indian descent face attacks in this country without response. Really? When the youth group for PNM in the sports had the sports day and some sari and wrap, whatever it is, Dr. Oli had to come and apologize. Only march in sari and say it holy. He get involved, he had to apologize. Everything they had to apologize. Xiaotiong had to apologize. This one, who does be under more persecution than African people in this country? Because all does good thing and never apologize somehow. But every time I read, they come back to this place of playing the victim. Some of them playing the victim. As you catch them in something, some of them, they resort to, well, we have faced years of discrimination and all kind of thing. So, for too long, Indians have been attacking this country, and people keep asking, what is CORBEAUX doing? Well, I think enough is enough, and we decided to stand up in favor of our people. The bottom line is Chiochong attacked a person of Indian descent, and if he attacked anyone else, I would say he was out of time and argument. What he attacked, saying that, I didn't hear you call no name, saying that they're going in the toilet and Zami is attacking an Indian woman. Is only Indian woman that's Zami? I didn't know that. Or is it that Indian woman does Zami? I try to understand what attack he attacked. Jack wanna attack Kamla Pasabi Sessa more than anything in this country, and only CORBEAUX, TT, and NCI and this, and only never say nothing. Jack wanna attack Kamla Pasabi Sessa. Philip Alexander, he said, Jared called him, she drunk, she's singing, she falling on. Panda said, Jack said she fall on, drum and ganji statue. Who said she corrupt? She know about corruption and she didn't do nothing but she corrupt. Who insult and embarrass Kamla Pasabi Sessa more than them? So, Minister Xiaotiong say about Zami, how that is disrespecting and attacking an Indian woman. All the real reaching with all the conversation, but all the kind of sanction in the parliament. While on the feet talking, a government minister in the PPUNC government, saying that Dr. Rowley and Hansard, saying that Dr. Rowley raped his mother. He born a child and raped, he's so angry. He grew up to be a racist and he raped a little girl. That's an attacking a black man. That's an attacking a black man. Kamla Pasabi Sessa and she government lock up over 8,000 African youths in this country. And the Attorney General, they say, it is alleged, say, lock them up, you go find things to charge them after. That is not an attack on African people. That's not an attack on we. But to say, she going into it and Zami, that's an attack on Indian people? Look, me reading no more, Dr. Rowley. You are the Prime Minister, you are a statesman, and you do what you need to do. Let me go back to how they like to write outside people to get involved in the business. All I remember, when Kamla Pasabi Sessa wrote to the Indian government to get vaccines, all remember that? This was Monday the 8th of March 2021. No word on Kamla's vaccine request to India. There was silence on Monday from opposition leader UNC, as to whether or not party leader Kamla Pasabi Sessa has received a reply to a letter which she wrote last month to Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. In it, she asked India to send TT doses of COVID-19 vaccine. Pasabi Sessa could not be reached to find out whether she had received a response. Yeah? She wrote to him to help we as the opposition leader. All remember this one? All remember when she write to the Australian government? I ain't making up these things, you know. Luke News, December the 23rd, 2018. UNC treacherous. UNC treasonous in calling for Aussie probe into procurement of vessels. Government is condemning what is described as ridiculous attempts by the country opposition to mislead the Australian authorities and the population of Trinidad and Tobago on the procurement of marine vessels from Australia. Former Transport Minister Deva Maraj wrote to Australian Attorney General Christian Porter almost 2 weeks ago requesting a probe into the TNT government procurement of vessels from INCAT in Australia. Maraj's request was subsequently sent to the Australian Federal Police for their consideration. All remember that? Let me go again. All remember when they write to the US ambassador? May 4, 2020, Daily Express. The opposition open courting of sanctions on this country by the United States marks an all-time low in the political history and independent Trinidad and Tobago. Whether one supports the ruling party or not, the letter sent to the U.S. ambassador by United National Congress MP Dr. Rudal Munilal has echoed in a small media post by opposition leader Kamla Persad-Bissessar should offend every citizen for having crossed an unforgivable line. Our differences with each other should never be so extreme that we are willing to throw our country and its people under the armada of superpower. All remember that? So they have a history. So when Ramsaran writes to IMF, it's a history of writing to white people to come to save we from the black people in this country. We are an independent country. We got independence in 1962, not 1956 as the dunce who say he educating people on the radio say. They have always done that, some of them. They don't want this country to run smoothly. They don't want it to run smoothly. All they want to see, listen to this, so remember this what Kamla say, you will hear she mentor talking for you.
Get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole, that's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. We fail. It will be men that will run in our streets. In our streets.
Right? That is what they do. And then after pretend, some of them pretend as victims. I know people doing them this, some people doing them that one. They're the ones who are bullying people. They're the ones who are bullying people. Listen to this. As Roger said this, all you see that as disrespect.
Fellow citizens, as a people, we must never accept corruption. Under the People's Partnership, it has reached the scale of billions of dollars. When we consider the multi-million-dollar contracts given out to their friends, families, and financiers, and the controversial and questionable method by which these contracts are given out, we have absolutely no choice but to conclude that this is the most corrupt government we have ever experienced. This brutal and evil practice of corruption has brought terrible pain and suffering, anguish to the majority of our citizens, while a few continue to amass obscene wealth in the hundreds of millions.
Yeah? We talk about contract to friends and family. I tell earlier, Dr. Vishnu Bishram, he said the failure of the Indians when they're into politics is that when they get into politics, they might have economic power, but when they get into politics, I'm saying it my way, it's not about good governance and good legislation, about thieving, corruption, kickback, a contract to friends and family, first-class party, cocktail party, first-class travel. That's what it's about. We see that happen under the UNC with Kamla Persad-Bissessar and the PP government, kickback and contract. We see it coming out of EMBD. We see what... All they want to take candle, well, look at seeing the day to look in the night. Listen to this. And all they want to talk about what? Yeah, Kamla. That's what they want.
So people, don't be fooled by this incompetent and lazy Prime Minister. And I will be very disappointed to see you all sit down there a little foul in a yard. Yes? You have to support your party. You say you support country before party. Well, go to hell. Go to hell. So make me proud tomorrow. Boycott that forum tomorrow. Stay home. Stay home.
Yeah? That's what she advising. She counsel us to do. Don't go the conference, the consultation. Where all councils went to learn more about the local government reform bill. She tell them don't go. Make she proud, don't go. And she tell next one, you talking about country, it's party first. That's what they want. That's what they want. And tell me just because Minister Siocho get caught and I think talking about she going into a little Zami. That disrespect. That disrespect. This is not disrespect, you only get tired.
About the Saudi Sasa.
Did Jack not go on Moulton Test Junction and said that you were so drunk you fall down on the statue? That is on record. I didn't say that, Kanga. Jack said that. Do you have the guts to go and say that Jack said that about you? Serious language, Jack.
That's why you come in. I want to come back.
A fraud of the highest order. I don't know if when that fella said the milk of hunting, he mouth don't tie up and
Mr. Pandey warned supporters that on election day, their duty is to save the party from the Kamjak faction.
Right? That's what I'm about. Let me just read this before I go. Disrespect an Indian woman because you say she's Zami. What the hell are you hearing here? Look, they know hold a man, 2017, rape his little daughter, saying he replaced the wife for his daughter, and then put in name, they say, from the Southland. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody who have a proud Indian ancestral name. That is disrespect to Indian people, because a woman is a child. That's happening to Laura Sanka. They get chopped up in front of children. That is a disrespect to Indian women. Tara Ramsarup and she let her 14-month-old daughter get chopped to death. That is disrespect to Indian women. Not time you know word Zami. That all they hold on to. All they know want something hold on to. People so all kind of thing about come up as a business in this country. Who was in your own party say thing, or then find a disrespect, or they find out because somebody say what? Zami? Come on, give me a break with all the faint, all the false sense. All the faint sense of moral indignation. Huh? Let me just read this here. I hope I find it. Lawrence Ramesh said when he went in for screening, when the UNC was screening in 2010 there, he says so they asked him if he see corruption, excuse me, if he will do the same thing like what he do on the Pandey with the Piaco thing, he said yes. He said when he was walking out, Ram Logan was walking in. He said who became the Attorney General. So this is what Ramesh Marat said in Starbrook News in 2012. Ramesh Marat, TNT, Prime Minister does not stand up against corruption. The question has been repeatedly put to the government that early proclamation of Section 34 was part of a conspiracy to allow certain men to walk free, and it had been repeatedly denied by Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar, Attorney General Anand Ramlogal, and the rest of the People Partnership government. But United National Congress financial Iswa Gambaran Singh and Steve Ferguson have already benefited from the PP's government. Exactly 1 year ago, they were facing extradition to the United States on fraud charges, and now there is possibility they will walk free via Section 34. The reversal of fortune for Galbraith Singh and Ferguson stems from Ram Logan's decision not to appeal Justice Ronnie Boodoo Singh's judgment in the extradition case on the basis that the men would have been tried in local courts. Ram Logan subsequently put the blame on Director of Public Prosecution, DPP Raja Gaspar, for not acting swiftly enough, and on the judiciary for granting leave to the sitting judge. Last week, former Attorney General Ramesh Lawrence Maharaj described Section 34 as Trinidad and Tobago's Watergate. He said it is becoming increasingly evident that there is a conspiracy to free these men, and that the Prime Minister cannot deny she's unaware of it. He observed that BASSE in her time in politics has held the portfolios of Attorney General, Minister of Legal Affairs, and now a senior member of the bar, and with her receipt of silk, so that she should have the required legal expertise to sift through notes brought before her in cabinet. He charged that BASSE had never been strong enough to deal with the finances of the party, and that was where the UNC vulnerability lies. From Galbarasing and Ferguson to the CORBEAUX fraction, which included former Chairman Lawrence Dupree and his executive assistant Carlos John. Recalling his former role, Maharaj explained that in 1999, he brought to the attention of the then cabinet an unsatisfactory state of affairs with CORBEAUX statutory funds. He told the Sunday Express that he had seen a report from the Ministry of Finance, which then stated that CORBEAUX was technically insolvent. But he got no support on the matter from BASSE, who was Legal Affairs Minister. It is now history. I was dismissed as AG. When I was dismissed, Kamla BASSE was made AG, he said. And after that, said Maharaj, BASSE's first action was to stop the linguist probe into the Piako airport scandal and instead investigate him. Maharaj said Galbarasing and Ferguson were once financiers of the People's National Movement, but switched sides for the 1995 general election. After he won the election that year, then Prime Minister Basil Pandey publicly thanked Galbarasing and Ferguson and Brian Kwaitong for their victory. Kamla Chaim Maharaj does not stand up against corruption. When she campaigned in May 2010, the population did not know her. The population was conned, and they were driven by two factors: the gender issue and the removal of the PLN. At that time, Maharaj said 3 people, Patrick Manning, Pandey, and himself, raised alarm bells, but no one listened. All they hear for themselves? Why go people look at that and say that's a disrespect? Why they say that's a disrespect? All who want to support the UNC, that's all their business. All the yellow bottles, all the business. But no, at the end of the day, you're doing yourself and your family and your children at this service. Because the UNC, based on what everybody says, one of the most corrupt party ever passed through, political party ever passed through this country. And we're still reaping the ill effects of what happened in 2010 to 2015 under Kamla BASSE. Everybody's saying it. She knows about corruption. She does not know about corruption. They're saying it all wrong. She's a drunk. Them saying it, not me saying it. They're saying the kind of thing she does do and ain't do when she drunk, not me saying it. They find marijuana up and she home, all kind of thing. Christian and who lying down in the backseat of car and all kind of thing. Jack wanna say them thing. Go up here and find that disrespectful to the Indian woman. But it's okay to beat up the Indian woman, incest the little children, beat up the children and them, chop them up and all kind of thing. That is all right. I just asked him. But a man say that they're going to Zami, or they have that done as an insult against Indian people. Like if that word was just used for Indian people alone. It just comes just like the word recalcitrant minority. For years, all they had people believing it was something racist against Indian people. It's a day I decide I'm going to find that word. I'll spell it just how I'm pronouncing it. And when I see the meaning, I say, I thought it mean Indian. Recalcitrant just simply mean obstinate. When they look at it, they use it in a sentence. They say Jane is obstinate or Jane is recalcitrant. It says nothing about Indian people. But for years, all they drummed that in Indian people head and made them have a dislike for PNM and a dislike for Dr. Equilium, a dislike for anything PNM, because all they tell them, some of the educated Indians went in all the mosque and the mandirs and all over and tell the people and them, or they tell all the devotees who was trusting all you, to tell them that the PNM says something wrong with them and something against them, and PNM don't like them and all kind of thing, how they hostile. When he was simply talking about a few, and because the word recalcitrant speaks about being obstinate. But that is what some of you do. In order to get the support, or let us lie to their own and have their head turned up. So every minute you talk to them, say something, oh, you're racist, or they've been attacked. When Chronicles closed down, African people didn't benefit from it. When Dr. Equivalent brought Caroni from Tate and Lyle to save 4,000 or 5,000 jobs, it was mainly people of Indian descent jobs. When Dr. Rowley as Minister of Agriculture write up billions of dollars at Caroni, that is what to save Indian people jobs. Tell me a lie now. And when they finally close down because they ain't making no sugar, ain't selling, ain't profitable, the people there in Caroni, which was mostly of Indian descent, get the biggest pay package in the history of the Caribbean. And they get land on top of it. And now when Dr. Equivalent built Point Lisas, they immediately became millionaires because the value of their land went up. So what are they talking about? Junior Sammy and they're making money under UNC, under PNM anyway, and they have been making it. And they're working and getting contracts. What discrimination are they talking about? But all they always like to cry that somehow to make this country like it has some kind of division between the people on the ground living nice, you know. The people on the ground, Nani, who live in the community with African people, Nani living nice, strong, she about she and them and she family and them, and vice versa, you know. It's all they're creating the problems somehow all here. People like coming up beside the sister and them is all they're creating problems. When we live next to me and them people that say, girl, how the boy going? How the girl going? Everything all right? Look at her, make some sad. How the girl? You have bygone there? That's how we live in. But it's all they just create them problem when they go in the temple, the prayer, put them thing in the head. And if you only see them, this is my opinion, I give it, talking too nice with an African person, or they put them thing in the head and causing disruption. And if you Indian people who make up their mind in business and go and take an African husband or African wife, oh God, all just get them trouble. Sometimes they just have to leave their family, or just make them have to leave because of the bad treatment. Or they just call the African husband and the African wife. Some of them do things to harm themselves because they don't want them to love, or they want them to love African man or African woman. Tell me a lie now. How much all the children do all kind of things to harm themselves because they don't want them to marry who they want to marry, because all they pushing things all in the head. Let me talk real thing. Tomorrow's Diwali, the festival of life, because I want all the darkness to come out. I mean color skin. I talk about the hate. The hate some of the half African people. I wanted to come out tomorrow what's there. I wanted to come out. I want to light and love to full some all here. I ain't talking about color skin. I'm talking about the darkness of hate. When all they go tomorrow and all they prayers and dress nicely and saying all they prayers, I want someone who think like that to pray that come out of the system. Yeah? And who of African descent taking part, all they do the same damn thing too. If all they just think like that. So that is my views for tomorrow God's Day for Diwali. So the Hindu community, I wish them Shubh Diwali. And I send my love and greetings from the Let Me Talk the Ting family, from the Let Me Talk the Ting page, and from Sister Journey, because I come with love and truth. So tomorrow, God's Fair, when we're talking about light over darkness and good over evil, take out some of the hate some of they have against African people that was pounding on their head, unfairly done so. And we live together in love in this country. And don't let come up beside the sister and people like she pull we down. She's not good for this country. And you can't tell me the word Zami is what causing all this problem. It's not that. It's not an underlying issue, because let me tell you something, Minister Stewart, your mother is an Indian woman. And the father is a Chinese man. So the issue is more than that. Let me see all who here. Helen, Joel, Charles, Imelda, Don Marie, Angela, Roxanne, Joy, Anne Marie, Gary, Cara, Joyce, Hollister, Merle, Ezra, Gaylan, Anal, Ryan, Phyllis, Anne Marie, Christopher, Cheryl, Kenneth, Lenore, Balti, Fitzgerald, Rose, Marie, Margaret, Erica, Petal, Yvette, Hazel, Rosie, Joycelyn, Hadara, Mary, Carolyn, Joyda, Charles, Ingrid, Robert, Merlin. Again, I say, we have a beautiful country, Trinidad and Tobago. We have a unique society of different races, from different socioeconomic background, from different religious background, from different ethnic groups. Our cultures, so beautiful when you see it blended together and put on stage, especially because I'm into the arts, so I see it there. I see one of my colleagues is log on my live. We are beautiful. When you see us in the space of BASSE Village, let me tell you something, and she can attest to that. When we're in that space, we're one family. All of us is one. It ain't had this kind of thing. It don't have it. You don't have it. That's why I always say we could use the arts to treat for some of the issues we have, because when you're in that space, it's a love. She can attest to that. We just make we joke and think whatever, but it's one. We are like a family. Come up and say some people like them don't want us to unite. The People's National Movement has always been the only national party. The UNC has never been a national party. It had about 7 reincarnations. PNM has remained PNM from 1956 to now. The UNC changed from DLP, PDP, UNC, PP, and it changing because they don't have a foundation. So people, I want to leave it here. And I just want again to wish the Hindu community, Shubh Diwali, I hope I pronounce it properly, and let the light and the meaning of Diwali really sink in, and that from tomorrow, God's spare, we have a different renewed spirit within somehow they would think like how Kamla Prasad and think. Let me move forward as a people, as a nation, as the great nation that we are. Twin Island state, and we build this state. We can't build it with the UNC, only can see what they want. We can't build it with the UNC. The UNC feel like too much hate. Because that's what they're trying to tell people. They want me to live in chaos, confusion, mayhem, bacchanal, chaos. That's what they want. And fear. Have you fearful? 30,000 people of our citizens leave here and went to Bago for the weekend. We full of love still, all the choppiness. That one, the tourism secretary to call and we unwashed and uncircumcised and the plane, this all kind of thing, whatever it is. If we didn't go to the carnival, would not be good. But we don't be on that. We are unique people, you know. So people, see you all on Friday Gospel. I come with something for something new. And to all who want to cut up my life and whatever it is, I could defend anything I just say. So they go ahead and cut it up and put it out there. I could defend what I say because what I say now, I could say tomorrow. I could remember it a year from now because there's truth I'm talking. And if you see my phone, I have all my things stored and I could put it, so I could pull it back and show you my receipts. That's what I call it, the black and white. So people, I love you all. See you on Friday Goes when I come with something fresh, something new. This is legal Jenny, Sister Jenny, Auntie Jenny. If you want to get formal, it's mission of profession with my Chronicles, Diablesse Chronicles. That's how we going down. And the characters in it, or they will decide who is who. It's the magnificent CORBEAUX, the LAGAHOO liquors. That is one I get from Victor, aka Hellboy. He's so in one of his live meetings, say so. DOUEN, Diablesse, LAGAHOO. We bring out all the 4 characters and them. Because there are some people in this country, the behavior and attitude. It's not the nice side of the 4 characters, you know, it's the next side of them we bring out. The ugly, contorted, monstrous side. That is what we're talking about. People, love you all. See you all on Friday. God's be I go. Love, love, love.
DOUEN.
Let we talk the Ting.
It have a character that is called Lady Diablesse. She just have on a long, pretty dress. She foot on them thin, but one of them have a surprise because if she only lift it up, you go see it have cow foot or 7 toes. I'm not sure, but right now, she leading man into the forest. Deep down inside there. They don't know what they're doing. I feel they're going to take a rest. It's a one called Jack, a next one called Bharat. I see Farouk coming in, and then I see Gopi Singh say that he does what? Advise them. All you don't forget what these people do between 2010 and 15. That Diablesse easy, but she only trapping weak men. So people only go hear about all them man and them who this Diablesse she trap, and she trap them just so she didn't have to show them a thing. Trying we talk the thing with Jen. Only go hear it all.
Tune in next time for more tales.